Many of today's most celebrated film and TV stars began their careers in surprising and unexpected roles. While these first parts may seem unusual compared to the legendary careers they went on to build, each of these actors proved their talent and became true icons of the screen. Let's take a look at their fascinating and often curious cinematic debuts.
I got 6 bullets in this gun. One for her, one for myself. Yeah, one for myself. And the rest of them for anybody that tries to stop me. Get out of the way!
1. Marlon Brando. Marlon Brando made his big screen debut at the age of 26 in the 1950 film The Men. He took on the challenging role of a paraplegic war veteran, struggling to adjust to civilian life after his injury. It was an unusual choice for an actor who would later become famous for his tough, masculine roles. The filming process was complicated, as scenes were shot out of order. This made it difficult for Brando to maintain emotional consistency, and at times he appeared hesitant and uncertain in his delivery. The film's director, Fred Zinnemann, grew concerned about his performance. Fortunately, Elia Kazan, a director and former actor himself, reassured Zinnemann that Brando would rise to the challenge. Indeed, Brando's talent soon shone through. Critics were impressed. The New York Times praised his range and versatility, while Time magazine called his debut magnificent. Brando's first role was just the beginning. He went on to have a legendary career, winning 2 Academy Awards and countless other honors, solidifying his status as one of Hollywood's greatest actors. 2. Jane Fonda. Jane Fonda made her film debut in 1960 with the romantic comedy Tall Story. The movie was neither a commercial hit nor a critical success, but it served part of its intended purpose, to showcase Fonda's talent. Originally, the role was meant for Warren Beatty, but Warner Brothers, the studio behind the film, refused to approve him due to his lack of name recognition. Instead, director Joshua Logan offered the part to veteran actor Anthony Perkins. At this early stage of her career, Fonda was still new to acting. She found some of the film's intimate scenes awkward, especially a suggestion from a photographer that she and Perkins, virtually strangers, should nuzzle and caress each other. Perkins, who was secretly gay, also worried he might not perform the scenes convincingly. Both actors rehearsed the romantic moments diligently, trying to make them believable, according to Logan's 1978 memoir. Logan, a friend of Fonda's father Henry, helped expand her role and guided her through the challenges of her first film. Despite his support, Fonda later described the experience as a Kafkaesque nightmare that exposed her insecurities and made her question her identity, appearance, and career. Tall Story received mixed reviews. While critics praised Fonda, much of the attention focused on her physical appearance, her sex appeal, legs, and figure, rather than her acting skills. Some even suggested she alter her looks surgically, which contributed to her insecurities, leading to bulimia and sleepwalking. Despite the difficult start, Jane Fonda persevered and went on to have a remarkable career, eventually winning 2 Academy Awards and becoming one of Hollywood's most respected actresses. 3. Judy Garland. Judy Garland made her film debut at the tender age of 7, performing alongside her sisters as part of the Gum Sisters in the 1929 short The Big Review. The 18-minute two-reel film featured the sisters being introduced by another child star from the Review, after which they launched into a lively song-and-dance number performing That's the Good Old Sunny South. Even at such a young age, Garland stood out. According to author John Frick, her performance was remarkable for its focus, natural command of melody, lyrics, and choreography, and the seeming effortlessness with which she connected with the audience. Eager to please and full of charm, Garland quickly showed a knack for stealing the scene. Her early talent was recognized when she won an Academy Juvenile Award in 1940 for her work during the previous year, including her iconic role as Dorothy Gale in The Wizard of Oz. 4. Michael Landon. Before becoming a celebrated actor, producer, and director in hit TV series like Bonanza, Little House on the Prairie, and Highway to Heaven, Michael Landon began his movie career around the age of 20. His first starring role was in the 1957 cult classic I Was a Teenage Werewolf, a film that certainly wasn't what audiences might have expected from the future TV icon. Landon's transformation into a werewolf was a grueling process. He didn't wear a mask. Instead, elaborate makeup was applied to him, a procedure that took nearly 2 hours to complete. During this time, the film's director, Gene Fowler Jr., had a German shepherd named Anna, who had a role in the movie, running around the Bronson Canyon forest where filming was taking place. By the time Landon was ready for his scenes, Anna had returned to the set. However, when he stepped out in full werewolf makeup, the dog bolted in fear. Fowler later recalled, "Anna ran like hell." Despite this chaotic introduction, Landon and Anna eventually became friends, marking a memorable start to his long and versatile career in entertainment. 5. Jimmy Stewart. Jimmy Stewart was 27 when he made his film debut in The Murder Man, 1935, playing a young cub reporter. As a newcomer, he was understandably nervous, and his tension was noticeable on set. Veteran actor Spencer Tracy, recognizing Stewart's unease, offered him a piece of advice that would stay with him forever: forget the camera. Once Stewart stopped worrying about being filmed and focused on his performance, his natural talent shone through. Tracy later remarked, "That was all he needed. In his very first scene, he showed he had all the good things." Another seasoned actor, William Powell, shared a similar opinion, noting Stewart's inimitable, unique quality and observing that the camera truly loved him. Taking Tracy's advice helped Stewart unlock his potential, setting him on the path to a remarkable career. Over the years, he would go on to win Academy Awards, Golden Globes, and numerous other honors, becoming one of Hollywood's most respected and beloved actors. 6. Elizabeth Taylor. When MGM showed interest in signing Elizabeth Taylor, rival Universal Studios swooped in with an offer to her mother. Mrs. Taylor accepted, signing Elizabeth to a 7-year contract. However, the studio's casting director wasn't convinced the young actress had star potential. After seeing her screen test, he reportedly said, "The kid has nothing. Her eyes are too old and she doesn't have the face of a child." She wasn't the next Shirley Temple or Judy Garland, at least in his eyes. Elizabeth's contract with Universal didn't last the full 7 years. It ended after just 1. During her time there, she appeared in only 1 film, her debut Man or Mouse, 1942, later renamed There's One Born Every Minute. In the movie, 10-year-old Elizabeth acted opposite 15-year-old Carl Switzer, who played Alfalfa in the Our Gang comedy series. Much of her screen time involved light-hearted antics, including firing elastic bands at fat ladies' bottoms. Despite what some might call a rough start, Elizabeth Taylor's Hollywood debut didn't define her future. She went on to become one of the most celebrated actresses of all time, earning Academy Awards, Golden Globes, a Screen Actors Guild Award, and countless other accolades over her illustrious career. 7. John Wayne. When director Raoul Walsh was searching for a lead for his 1930 Western The Big Trail, he asked his friend, fellow director John Ford, for recommendations. Ford suggested a young actor in town, describing him as having a funny walk and the kind of presence that made it seem like he owned the whole world. That young actor was 23-year-old John Wayne. Initially, Wayne hesitated, feeling inexperienced and unsure if he could handle the role. Walsh reassured him that all he needed to do was sit good on a horse and point. Convinced, Wayne accepted the part, marking his official film debut. Despite this early role, widespread stardom didn't come immediately. For several years, he appeared mostly in low-budget pictures, gradually building his reputation. Wayne's breakthrough came in 1939, when John Ford cast him in the Western classic Stagecoach. From there, his career soared, ultimately earning him an Academy Award and cementing his place as one of Hollywood's most iconic leading men. 8. Bruce Willis. Bruce Willis made his film debut in 1987 with the romantic comedy Blind Date, marking his first starring role in a movie. Prior to this, Willis had mostly appeared as an extra or in minor parts, although he was already gaining recognition from his TV role in Moonlighting, 1985-1989. Unfortunately, Blind Date was critically panned and did not perform well at the box office. Despite this rocky start, Willis's talent and screen presence did not go unnoticed. Soon after, he landed the starring role of Detective John McClane in the 1988 action thriller Die Hard. Willis was paid $5 million for Die Hard, tasked with carrying much of the film's demanding action sequences. Interestingly, the role had been offered to Sylvester Stallone and Harrison Ford, who both declined. The film's enormous success turned Willis into a bona fide Hollywood star, launching the career that would make him an iconic action hero. 9. Reese Witherspoon. Reese Witherspoon was just 14 years old when she auditioned for a small role as an extra in the 1991 film The Man in the Moon. However, her audition impressed director Robert Mulligan so much that he offered her the starring role of Danny Trant, a spirited tomboy. This part became the launchpad for her future career in both television and movies. Mulligan admitted that casting Witherspoon was a risk, given her lack of acting experience, but her screen test convinced him otherwise. "She just jumped off the screen," he said. While Witherspoon wasn't naturally a tomboy, Mulligan noticed that small details, like the way she chewed gum, gave her character an authentic toughness and charm. Her debut was certainly unusual. Reese had come in aiming for a minor part, but left with a leading role, playing a character very different from the sweet, girly roles she would later take on in her career. Despite the unusual start, this curious debut showcased the talent that would make her a future Hollywood star. 10. Kirstie Alley. Kirstie Alley made her movie debut in Star Trek II: The Wrath of Khan, 1982, playing Lieutenant Saavik, a half-Vulcan, half-Romulan officer aboard the USS Enterprise. At the time, Alley was in her early 30s, and this role was a dream come true for her. She later reflected, "I liked the Star Trek series," revealing how much the show had inspired her. In many ways, Alley had been preparing for this role for years. While watching the television series, she imagined herself as Spock's daughter. During her audition, she even improvised responses in character, essentially acting like Spock. Director Nicholas Meyer was impressed, telling her, "Boy, you have him down." Although Alley was offered the chance to reprise her role in subsequent Star Trek films, she declined because the pay offered was lower than what she earned for her debut. Nevertheless, this first role marked the beginning of a career that would eventually earn her Emmy and Golden Globe Awards and establish her as a beloved comedic actress. That's a wrap on Hollywood's unforgettable first roles. From Brando to Alley, every star started somewhere. Which debut surprised you the most? Comment below and subscribe, and hit the bell for more Hollywood stories.